Welcome to JazzTime.com. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online, and if you'd like to know the price, simply click the links in the description below. We'd greatly appreciate if you'd buy your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today, we'll be talking about the Rolex Oyster Perpetual Sky-Dweller in 18-karat Ever-Rose Gold with a rhodium dial and an Oyster Flex bracelet, reference number 326235. We'll be going over the case, the bezel, the dial, crown, movement, and the bracelet, and I'll be giving you my thoughts throughout this video. This case is 42 millimeters in diameter from finger to thumb, made of 18-karat Ever-Rose Gold for strength and durability, especially when it comes to color. The architecture is a monoblock middle case with a screw-down case back and winding crown to ensure waterproofness down to 100 meters or 330 feet. The bezel is also made of the 18-karat Ever-Rose Gold, and when I say Ever-Rose Gold, I mean that it is made the oyster steel and rose gold combination that Rolex has created by themselves actually made this to last and keep its color for much longer than any other rose gold on the market. All right. It is also the fluted style bezel, capable of attracting attention from anywhere in the room with its textural look and practical legacy. Originally, this fluted look was made for the function of screwing the bezel on the case to ensure waterproofness, and over time, it simply became an aesthetic element and today is a mark of distinction and is always in gold. However, in the case of the Sky-Dweller line, the fluted bezel actually carries with it an additional function, but a little bit more on that a little later in the video. The crystal is of a transparent, scratch-resistant sapphire, so there's no fear of suit threads or buttons damaging it. There's a Cyclops lens directly over the date for ease of reading at a glance. The dial on this model is also rather special. But first, what fits this into Rolex's catalog in terms of appearance is that this specific model has a rhodium sunray pattern with index hour markers with applied chroma-like display and a light window, or a date window rather, at 3 o'clock position, right under the Cyclops lens for easy reading. But what makes it special in Rolex's catalog are all the other functions within this dial, most notable being that there is a large off-center 24-hour dial with a fixed red triangle at its top position, as you can see right there. And, the dial, much like that of the date window, rotates counterclockwise as its indicator at the top is fixed. And as it's a 24-hour dial, it's much easier to tell day and night cycles. But take a closer look at this dial and you'll notice that there's a red rectangle just outside one of these hour marks. If you take a look at the 12 o'clock right there, the 12 o'clock is actually red when compared to all of the other index markers. All right, and so, well, what does that mean? Well, what else comes in multiples of 12? Well, if you guessed months, you'd be right. Between the hour index markers and the inner bezel are month indicators, which take advantage of a reliable annual calendar thanks to an ingenious mechanism inside named Saros, patented by Rolex, and whose unique design was inspired directly by the astronomical phenomenon of the same name. The annual calendar automatically differentiates between 30 and 31-day months. It displays the correct date throughout the year and requires only one adjustment per year on March 1st, when February has either 28 or 29 days, depending on leap years. And you may be wondering how all of this works. Well, simply unwind the crown to the first position. This allows you to wind the watch. Easy and simple, but what does that have to do with setting the time and the date? Well, if you pull out to the next position, if you have the bezel rotated all the way to the left, that means you can't move it counterclockwise anymore. You can actually move the minute hand and, by extension, the 24-hour dial. So you can do this to set a second time zone, paying attention to the hour marker, because the hour marker stays at the top while the inner dial moves counterclockwise to advance the time. All right, so let's say we're at 20 hours and 7 minutes. All right, so now keeping the crown at the second position, you can't actually pull it out anymore. There's only two positions for this crown. you can actually then rotate the bezel just a little bit. Doing so starts the seconds hand again, and you can now move the hour hand freely. Now this allows you to set your time with regards to the minute hand, second hand, and the hour hand all together. All right, and rotating the bezel one more time allows you to then advance the date. And note that I rotated it clockwise, which made the date go backwards, and therefore to the 31st of November. Now note that the 31st of November is a fictional date. You can only get this by setting it manually, because say if I were on the 29th of November and I were to move the hour hand forward, all right, so now I'm on the 30th, I'm going forward in time, it automatically sets to the 1st of December at midnight rather than going to the 31st of November, a fictional date. And as I said, you can only reach it through manual means, and you can't even wind backwards to it, so there's no mistake of getting an accidental 31st of November. The only way you can do that is to do so manually. Right there. All right, so keeping that in mind, now you can actually, that is all the function within this watch. Very sophisticated, and rotating the bezel one more time clockwise actually locks all of the functions at this final position. Nothing's happening. Even if you listen, there's no sound. That means nothing can be done. This is sort of like a safety lock. So all you can really do is just wind the watch at the first position, which is what most people need. And so most people will probably keep this in this final position. All right, so what makes all of this actually possible is the movement is a caliber 9001 made in-house by Rolex. It is a perpetual, mechanical, and self-winding movement with dual time zones as I demonstrated, and the annual calendar as I also demonstrated. It has the -2 and +2 second per day after casing per 24 hours. It has the center hour, minute, and seconds hands with the 24-hour display on an off-center disc. The second time zone on that second disc has also the instantaneous annual calendar at 3 o'clock and the rapid setting of the date, month display via 12 apertures around the circumference of the dial with the stop seconds for precise time setting. The oscillator is a paramagnetic blue parachrome hairspring with high-performance Paraflex shock absorbers, so effectively it is resistant to electromagnetic interference as well as shock. You could drop this watch, please don't drop this watch. You could drop this watch and it will still be keeping time just fine. It also has the bidirectional self-winding via a perpetual rotor, so you can effectively wind it while wearing the watch. The power reserve is approximately 72 hours, and with all of this functionality, I find it really hard to set it down for 3 whole days, which is literally what that is. All right, so this bracelet is the Oyster Flex style bracelet. It has flexible metal blades encapsulated inside this high-performance elastomer. The outside has these nice ridges that follow from the very first link that attaches directly to the case, right? And underneath, it has these little vents underneath. A little hard to see there, but it has these little vents underneath to raise the watch so it rests nicely on your wrist, and it actually allows your wrist to breathe. And in comparison, say a leather bracelet, which is what it used to come on, it has that very nice dressy look. However, this leather bracelet does not allow for breathing because there's no actual raised portions underneath. It's just leather. And so actually, I did my own little empirical test here. I wore a leather bracelet and an Oyster Flex bracelet separately, of course, for about 30 minutes each. And I discovered that while the leather bracelet feels very comfortable, my wrist started to sweat like crazy. So it makes sense to actually have this Oyster Flex bracelet with these channels inside, because after 30 minutes, I felt like I was simply just wearing this watch case without a bracelet. It was very light, and I did not feel much of a bracelet because my wrist was not sweating, so it's extremely comfortable. All right, and onto this clasp here. It also has this Oyster folding clasp, so that you can simply pull on the top and it opens. It also does not have an EasyLink 5mm extension. Instead, it has a slide lock to give you 20mm of extension. So I had it open all the way just to show you, but you can actually have it closed all the way to take away 20mm. And if you really need this watch sized, or I don't know, maybe you're transferring this over to a friend or something, and you have similar but not the same wrist sizes, this could be a lifesaver. Well, don't transfer this to a friend because this is an excellent timepiece. Why would you want to get rid of it? All right, so while we're here, we can try it on. All right, try it on the wrist, and I have it closed all the way so that there's no extra length here. All right, so as I said earlier, this is extremely comfortable. It feels like I don't really have any sort of strap on. It just sort of, I feel the case and maybe a little bit of the clasp, but that's it. And that's thanks to the inner channels, which are constantly letting my wrist breathe. And so it feels extremely comfortable. The weight, well, keeping all of those mechanics within this watch that allows, you know, that second dial, the date, the calendar, all of that to work, it's actually rather heavy, and also in ever rose gold. This whole thing is ever rose gold, so it is rather heavy, but you know, you get what you pay for. You get all of this functionality, so why wouldn't you want to flaunt it? All right, so when it comes to who this watch is for, I'd say that it's definitely for those who are busy, those who are more of the you know, flip and forget type. You know, you just have everything on your wrist. You don't need to refer to a calendar. You don't need to find a calendar somewhere. You just have it all here. And the functionality makes it also an excellent conversation starter, as it's not very often that you have such a large off-center 24-hour dial, especially on a Rolex. So, enough of what I think. What do you think about this watch? Let us know down in the comments below, and be sure to leave a like, as it really helps our channel out. Be sure to share this video with anybody looking for their next watch, and don't forget to subscribe. Click that bell notification so you can be notified when we go live with another video. And don't forget, if you want this or any other watch, be sure to put in your order at jazztime.com. Links in the description below.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.